Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
Washington Post World.
February 7, 5:20 America, New York. Court says South Korea responsible for Vietnam War massacre. A South Korean court has ordered the government to pay $24,000 to a Vietnamese woman who survived a gunshot wound but lost several relatives when South Korean Marines rampaged through her village during the Vietnam War in 1968.
Mirror World News.
February 7, 5:01 America, New York. Vladimir Putin loses another general in Ukraine, taking key commanders killed to 10. Major General Dmitry Ulyanov was reportedly killed in a firefight during an attack by a Ukrainian sabotage group earlier this week, meaning Vladimir Putin has lost at least 10 top brass in the war.
New York Times World News.
February 7, 5 o'clock America, New York. Miracle, cystic fibrosis drug kept out of reach in developing countries. Vertex Pharmaceuticals is not making its drug, Trikafta, available in poorer countries, where thousands of diagnosed patients stand to benefit. Shweta Shri, left, with her 5-year-old son Vihan, who has cystic fibrosis.
New York Times World News.
February 7, 5 o'clock America, New York. The people on screen are fake. The disinformation is real. For the first time, AI-generated personas, often used for corporate trainings, were detected in a state-aligned information campaign, opening a new chapter in online manipulation.
Time. February 7, 5 o'clock America, New York. Climate change saved Europe from Putin this winter. Climate change has kept Europe warm enough this winter to save it from Russian President Vladimir Putin's energy crisis, but the respite may prove fleeting if, perhaps when, those same climate changes cause a crisis this summer. Time.
February 7, 5 o'clock America, New York. China's residential schools separate 1 million Tibetan children from their families, UN says. Veiled behind the Himalayas, occupying a frigid plateau twice the size of Texas dubbed the roof of the world, Tibet is truly a land apart. Tibetans share a lineage with Chinese, Mongol, and Siberian peoples, though are distinguished by a genetic mutation that enables them to thrive at over 13,000 feet. New York Times World News.
February 7, 4:57 America, New York. The lone link for aid between Syria and Turkey is not usable after the quake. With Syria not able to receive direct aid from many countries because of sanctions, the border crossing has been a lifeline. Iraqi soldiers and aid workers unloading trucks with aid to be shipped to Syria, in Baghdad on Monday.
Washington Post World.
February 7, 4:34 America, New York. 2 pilots walk away from Boeing 737 tanker crash in Australia. 2 pilots have walked away with minor injuries after a Boeing 737 jet converted for firefighting crashed in Australia.
Washington Post World.
February 7, 4:29 America, New York. Sub-Saharan Africa is new epicenter of extremism, says UN. A new report by the UN's International Development Agency says that sub-Saharan Africa is the new global epicenter of violent Islamic extremism and that people are increasingly joining as a result of economic factors and less by religious ones.
Fox World News.
February 7, 4:21 America, New York. Rescuers search for survivors in Turkey, Syria after earthquake leaves more than 5,000 dead. Rescuers in Turkey and Syria searched for more survivors after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake killed more than 5,000 people and toppled thousands of buildings.
RT World News.
February 7, 4:19 America, New York. EU sold its soul to Russia, Poland. The bloc was seduced by Moscow's cheap energy supplies. According to the Polish Prime Minister, Europe allowed itself to grow dependent on Russian energy like a drug addict, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said on Monday.
Time.
February 7, 4:15 America, New York. Google bets big on its AI service, Bard, to counter ChatGPT. Google is girding for a battle of wits in the field of artificial intelligence with Bard, a conversational service apparently aimed at countering the popularity of the ChatGPT tool backed by Microsoft.
Mirror World News.
February 7, 3:52 America, New York. Turkey earthquake. Miracle orphan baby born under rubble as tragic death toll hits 5,000. Painful footage shows the baby girl taking its first breath surrounded by destruction after its mother went into labor during the quake, in the countryside of Afrin, northeast Syria.
BBC News World.
February 7. 3:25 America New York. Disney removes Simpsons, forced labor episode in Hong Kong. Disney cuts the episode from its streaming platform amid concerns over the Chinese territory's laws.
RT World News.
February 7. 3:11 America New York. Trump takes aim at Pulitzer Prize Board. The former U.S. president has blasted the award for the Russia hoax coverage. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at the Pulitzer Prize Board, after a review of the relationship between his office and the press was published by the Columbia Journalism Review, CJR.
BBC News World.
February 7. 2:20 America New York. Energy giant BP sees record profits of $28 billion. The firm's profits more than double after energy prices surged last year following the invasion of Ukraine.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
February 7. 1:18 America New York. Volunteers digging with their bare hands as shouts heard amid the rubble. When we arrived in Antakya near the Syrian border, we were met with a pretty grim scene. Adana Airport.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
February 7. 1:01 America New York. Live updates. Turkey, Syria earthquake kills thousands. The latest on the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that devastated parts of southeast Turkey and northern Syria early Monday.